I asked Google the other day, what makes something political? And it said something is considered political when it involves distribution of power and resources within a society. Then I asked Gen AI, and it told me politics is basically about deciding who has control and who gets what within a society.
That's pretty much the same idea, right? Politics is about power, who gets to make the decisions and who has to live with them.
But that definition actually got me thinking of something deeper, about one of my favorite books in the Bible, Acts. Acts is all about the early church, how it began, how people followed Jesus when the world around them didn't really want to.
It's full of these stories that show faith isn't just a belief system, it's a way of living that challenges the world's power structures.
Now, there's this moment in Acts 23 where Paul says something that really stands out. He's on trial and he says,
It is with respect and to the hope and the resurrection of the dead that I am on trial.
In other words, Paul is saying, I'm not here because I broke the law. I'm here because I believe Jesus rose from the dead, and that changes everything.
That's wild because his so-called crime wasn't political at all. It was spiritual. But watch what happened next.
The whole council explodes. The Sadducees, who didn't believe in the resurrection, start arguing with the Pharisees, who did. And before long, it's chaos.
The Bible says it got so violent that Paul had to be pulled out before they tore him apart. So here's the question. What really caused all that?
If we go by the definition of politics, power, and control, that whole scene was political.
They weren't just arguing over doctrine.
They were fighting over who held authority. Because if Jesus really rose from the dead, then he's the one in charge.
Not them. And that's the thing. What looks political on the surface is often spiritual underneath. People fight over control because deep down, they're fighting for what they worship. They're fighting over hope, over truth, over who or what sits on the throne.
We still see that today. Movements rise and fall, protests flare up, slogans change.
But underneath all of it, it's not just about politics. It's about what people believe gives them meaning and power. Politics just reveals the deeper spiritual battle going on beneath the surface.